Lockpickers of the world, unite! Because you and I, all of us who dance the shear lines, push the pins and apply the tension, the collective consciousness of the lockpicking fraternity is about to be taken into a place where the universal laws of the temporal spatio reality you've previously trusted mean nothing. Everything you thought you knew about locks and lockpicking is about to be inverted, dissolved, realigned according to a different set of standards. The waiting is over. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the lockpicking legend, and this is a cross section of the Banham 12-pin dimple lock. And wow, it's a pain in the ass. And here she is, cut in half. Here's your cross section, and wow, what a lock. This one is binding, can you see that? And this one is not binding. The one on the right you could call overset, the one on the left underset. Now I've only got one pin pair in this cross section, but if you're picking it, you're going to have to deal with 6 of these. Now what makes this lock unique is you need to pick the one that isn't binding, which is the one on the left. And when you release a bit of tension, the one on the right comes in and you can turn it. Now it's come out a bit of the housing there. Pop that in. So whereas you're used to picking the binding pin, with the Banham Dimple, you pick the one that isn't binding. Can you see? Can you see what I mean there? But if you overset the non-binder, you see that little bit coming out there. There, I've got it. So I'll go through it again. You can see the one on the right is overset, and we put a bit of tension on. We can move that one freely, but if we push that one, nothing happens. So we have to attack the one that isn't binding. And something interesting about this lock, which I haven't seen anyone else mention, maybe I've just missed it, I'm not accusing them of not knowing, but because I've looked at the patent for this lock, which is available online, in each pin pair, one of the springs is stronger than the other one. And that's intentional. That's part of the security of this lock. And it absolutely helps confuse things. But I hope this cross section has, given you a nice visualization of how this lock works. There's no point picking this one. We need to move this one, the one that's underset. That makes room for the other one when we release tension, like we did there, to allow us to turn the plug. Now you've just got to do that 6 times. And yeah, good luck to you. We'll come back to that cross section in a bit when it might mean more to you, but let's have a look at the key. So as you can see with this one, there's 12 holes on it, and there's 12 pins in the lock, but that kind of harbours a lie, because the key can be used either way up, and it's actually 6 pairs. But what you'll notice that distinguishes this, one of the many things, from other dimple locks, is that there's actually holes in those dimples, because the pins, when the key's in the lock, actually touch. They remain touched. They are just moved slightly one way or moved the other way. You can see by the size of the holes how far each pin is going to be allowed to move and how far each pin isn't going to be allowed to move. Therefore, pulling the overset, the end of the pin that's sort of in the sleeve, the sort of circular shear line that we just looked at, that allows that to move out the way, and of course the plug to turn and the lock to open. Here's the lock from another angle, and you can see there's the keyway, but you can see there's that sort of circular external shear line And you can see there that some of these are the overset pins, the right hand side one on the cross section, and some of them are lower, meaning there'd be the opposing one, which was the left hand one on the cross section. And you'll see that and it's such a, you know, the tolerances are so tight with these, you can just gently check these. You see that? I'm trying to, now that one, I'm guessing I've overset that one. That'll be poking out the other side. I'm trying to get them all. See, yeah, if you look at numbers 4 and 5, there's 5 there. Try and get that. I mean, you can see how tricky these tolerances are. I'm just trying to, no, 5 looks a bit dodge. And then, I mean, this is being able to see it. I mean, I've got a lockpick. I can see the pins on the circular shear line. There you go. And that's how the lock opens. I mean, you know, look. Let's add all these things up. You've got opposing pins where you don't pick the one that's binding. So there's that. You've got different strength spins. My head's spinning. I wouldn't be surprised if yours is. You've got different strength springs on each opposing pin set to complicate matters, and you've got these very, very tight tolerances. You know, I can open a standard pin cylinder where I can't see what's going on quicker than I can open this one where I've got, you know, I can see what's happening, because it's just fractions of millimeters. You see that? It is a miraculous lock. So let's get back to the cross section now and have a look at that. So, you legends, you've seen the cross section, you've seen the external circular shear line, you've seen the key. I think this is now making more sense to you. That's the one that isn't binding on the left, the one I'm picking. I can push it. See? Now that one is binding. Well, it's not binding, but it was overset. But that's the one you want to move. Drop the tension off. And you see where the pins are meeting in the middle? That's what the dimple in the key would cause them to do. And then it's gone back down. And I'll just take you through that again. So you see the one on the right. There you go. I've pushed that out far so you can see it. That's not going to let that move. Okay? So this is the one I want. This left hand boy. So I'll put pressure on that. A little bit of tension. And there. It's just a question of doing that with 6 of them. And we can have a little look at that. I'll show you now. Now you can see here I've mounted the plug with the circular shear line in a vise, and I'll pop the key in there and you can see that's all good. But something interesting happened here that didn't happen so much with the cross section, and it is confusing. However, it's only fair to show you what I've learned. If I put the tension tool in and try and pick it with normal tensioning, it doesn't work. What I found is I put a little bit of turning on it. You see that? Those circles aren't quite central anymore. And that's it. I don't maintain the tension as such. I'm using a multi-pick G Pro pick here. The finest dimple picks ever. Pricey, but worth it. And now what I'm doing, I'm simply as delicate as I can without shifting that tension. I'm just looking for the ones that have got the I've got to go back and redo this. So I'm searching for the ones with a bit more give. And again, I mean, this tilting technique that has come along with more advanced dimple picking has been a lifesaver for this. I mean, yes, I am looking at what's going on, but I am having to add this tension, you know, sequentially, you could say. But slowly working through it. And look, this is essentially a practice lock, because a cutaway, should I say, because I have got access to what's happening. But again, as a measure of the complexities of picking this lock, you might have noticed it's not exactly rapid. You know, not picking the binder, not maintaining the tension tool, and I think I might have just overshot that a bit. No, it seems okay. Trying to keep that little bit of tension I put on is a joke, but we might have a result here. Don't move, don't move. Oh, you beauty. I'm going to take that. For what it was, I'm going to take it. Well, there you go, people. I hope you got something out of this video. I hope that you've got a better understanding of how this legendary lock works and how you can defeat it should you choose to. I mean, make sure you got plenty of time on your hands. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up. Let us know in the comments what you thought about this. Let me know what you think about this lock. And if you've got any other ideas for videos I could make or cross sections you'd like to see, let me know. Stay legendary. I'll see you next week with another video. Oh, and a thumbs up and a subscription would be absolutely lovely. Ta-da!